What if I told you that the biggest difference between Australians who successfully build wealth and those who constantly struggle financially isn't actually about how much they earn? It's really not about the size of their salary at all. Instead, it all comes down to the habits they repeat every single week.
So I've got to ask you a crucial question. What's the real difference between struggling and actually building wealth? Because it's a pretty frustrating reality that millions of Australians earning genuinely good salaries still find themselves living paycheck to paycheck, completely stressed out. Yet, right at the exact same time, you have folks on totally average everyday incomes who are quietly building up investments, growing their savings, and enjoying total financial freedom. So what exactly separates them?
Well, let's dive right into our roadmap for today to bridge that gap from financial stress to wealth building. We're going to cover the wealth creation secret, automate and separate, weekly money check-ins, beat lifestyle inflation, the power of starting small, and finally, why your future starts today. Okay, kicking things off with Section 1, the wealth creation secret, where we look at habits over income. Listen, building wealth is absolutely not about luck or extreme intelligence or grinding it out for 80 hours a week. It's really just about 5 simple habits, because ultimately, wealth is what you repeat. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what those habits are. And here's the best part. If you adopt even just one of these today, your entire financial future could look completely different in just a few short years. Moving right along to Section 2, automate and separate. This covers habits 1 and 2. These first 2 are the logistical habits. They focus entirely on how you physically handle your cash the very second you get paid. Think about it. Most people pay everyone else first, right? The landlord, the electricity company, Netflix, the local coffee shop. Then, whatever happens to be left over goes into savings, which, let's be real, is usually absolutely nothing. But successful Australians completely reverse that order. The very moment their salary arrives, they automatically transfer a portion straight into savings. They literally pay themselves first. And here is why this is such a game changer. Automation totally removes emotion from money. When you set up an automatic transfer on payday, you don't have to feel motivated. You don't even have to remember to do it. It just happens behind the scenes. Whether it's just $20, $50, or $100 a week, over time, these small, automated deposits quietly snowball into thousands of dollars. And it doesn't require a single ounce of daily discipline.
Now for habit number 2, separating those savings. You should never, ever keep your savings in the same bank account you use for your everyday spending. Why? Because money that's easy to reach is way too easy to spend. By keeping your emergency fund or your investments in a completely different bank account, transferring that money back to your spending account takes just a little bit of extra effort. That tiny delay is brilliant because it forces your brain to pause and ask a really critical question. Wait, do I really need this? And honestly, most of the time, the answer is a hard no.
So the takeaway here is that building wealth isn't only about figuring out how to hustle and earn more money. Sometimes it's just about designing your life to make bad financial decisions way harder to execute. Adding a little bit of friction to access your savings is literally a superpower when it comes to stopping impulse buying right in its tracks.
That brings us to Section 3, weekly money check-ins, which is habit number 3. So many of us actively avoid looking at our bank accounts until we're absolutely terrified there isn't enough in there to cover a bill. But avoiding your money? That just creates anxiety and fear. Instead, successful people schedule what we call the 10-minute Sunday routine. Just block out 10 minutes every Sunday to look at 3 simple things: how much money came in, how much went out, and exactly where your money actually went.
So why does this quick 10-minute routine work so well? Because awareness changes behavior.
When you regularly keep an eye on your money, you'll suddenly notice those random streaming subscriptions you completely forgot you were paying for. You'll spot the little impulse purchases that really add up. You'll uncover your own hidden spending habits. By simply shining a light on where your cash is going, you naturally start making smarter, much more intentional decisions. And you do it without feeling like you're heavily restricting yourself.
Okay, Section 4, Beat Lifestyle Inflation. This is habit number 4. Picture this. You just scored a really nice salary increase. Awesome, right? But what's the immediate urge? To upgrade. A newer phone, a better car, just living a bigger, flashier lifestyle. Well, this trap has a name. It's called lifestyle inflation, which basically means spending more every single time your income grows. Now, earning more money isn't the problem here. Earning more is fantastic. The problem is instantly inflating your lifestyle to perfectly match that new, higher income. It leaves you with zero extra savings, even though you're working harder and earning more.
So, how do we actually beat this? We use the new income rule. You've got to make a rule before the new money actually hits your account. Whenever you receive a pay rise, a nice bonus, a tax refund, or really any unexpected income, commit to this exact split. Investors save at least 50% of it, and then use the other 50% to enjoy your lifestyle completely guilt-free. You still get to celebrate and enjoy the fruits of your hard work, but trust me, your future self is going to absolutely thank you for saving half.
Rolling right into Section 5, the power of starting small. This is habit number 5. This is where so many well-intentioned folks hit a total brick wall. They try to completely overhaul their financial lives overnight by suddenly saving 30% and cutting out every single fun expense. And what happens? After 3 miserable weeks, they quit. Real wealth is built entirely differently. You need to start with something so incredibly small that you literally cannot fail. Start by saving just $10 a week, or hey, even $5. Because honestly, when it comes right down to it, the initial dollar amount you save literally doesn't matter. It's the habit that matters. Once saving money just becomes part of your everyday identity, increasing the dollar amount later on becomes totally effortless. Consistency always beats intensity. Sprinting super hard for 3 weeks and burning out is going to get you nowhere. But jogging slowly and consistently for years, that is what gets you to the finish line of financial freedom.
And finally, Section 6, your future starts today. Let's wrap up with some final thoughts.
If there's one thing I want you to remember today, it's this. Real, lasting wealth is almost never built from one lucky investment, winning the lottery, or snagging some massive paycheck overnight. It's built quietly and steadily. Week after week, month after month, year after year. Those small habits inevitably become massive, life-changing results. The Australians who actually get to retire comfortably aren't usually the ones who had the highest fancy salaries. They're simply the people who made the best decisions, consistently. So, I'm going to leave you with this final, absolutely crucial question. Which of these 5 habits are you going to repeat today? Seriously, don't wait until next month to get your finances in order. Don't tell yourself you'll start when you finally get that higher salary. Just choose one single habit and start today. Because your financial future isn't shaped by what you do once in a while, it's entirely shaped by what you repeat. Well, if you enjoyed this explainer and learned something valuable today, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more practical tips designed to help you understand and build long-term wealth. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next explainer.